Wow. Just wow. If you caught the scoreline for this recent football match, Spain 5, France 4, you probably did a double take.
Oh, absolutely. A 9-goal game is, well, it's pretty wild on its own.
But the way this one happened, that's something else entirely.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's unpack this thing. You've given us a great set of sources for this game. We've got detailed match stats, a minute-by-minute timeline, match summaries.
Yeah, the works.
And we're not just going to read you the box score, obviously. We want to dive into all this data you sent over and try to figure out how on earth we ended up with this, well, frankly, incredible result.
Exactly. That's the mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To get past just that final crazy score.
Right.
We'll use these details you provided to really understand the ebb and flow, the rhythm of this chaotic match, see what the stats tell us about how each team played at different points.
And where all that late drama really came from.
Precisely.
So you've got the raw info, and we're here to kind of walk you through it, help pull out the key bits, the important insights from this specific game. Sound good?
Let's do it. Where should we start? The big picture.
Yeah, let's set the stage first. High-level numbers, looking at the full match stats you shared. France, interestingly, had a bit more possession. 53% to Spain's 47%.
Okay. Slight edge there.
And get this, they actually initiated significantly more attacks, 57 for France, only 31 for Spain.
Wow. Nearly double.
Plus more total attempts at goal, too. France took 26 shots, Spain only 15.
Okay, now that's fascinating straight away,
Right.
that contrast.
Right.
France seems like they were, on the front foot way more often, holding the ball, pushing forward, getting shots away.
Based on just those numbers, you'd think they were running the show.
You really would. And does that carry over into passing?
It does. France, higher accuracy, 90%. Spain at 83%.
Okay, still pretty high for both, but France edging it.
And they completed way more passes, 468 for France compared to just 330 for Spain.
So, if we're trying to connect the dots here, France keeping the ball, passing it accurately, that suggests they should be able to build attacks methodically, right?
You'd think so.
But clearly, holding the ball and passing it well didn't mean goals, at least not early on. So that raises the big question. How did Spain, despite these numbers, get so far ahead?
Well, let's glance at the defensive side quick. Spain recovered the ball more often, 37 to 32. Not a huge difference, but...
It may be crucial turnovers. And saves.
And saves, yes. Big difference there. Spain's keeper made 6 saves. France's keeper only 3.
Ah, okay. That's significant. 6 saves.
Fouls were pretty close. 17 Spain, 14 France. But yellow cards. France picked up 4, Spain only 2.
Discipline may be playing a role, too.
Could be. Distance covered was similar. About 117 kilometers for Spain, 111 kilometers for France. Oh, and attendance was noted. 51,724.
Okay, so those saves and recoveries for Spain. That might be our first clue about how they weathered France's attacking volume.
Definitely. But, okay, enough aggregate stats. This is where it's really interesting. The timeline. Because the story of 5-4 is all about when things happen.
Absolutely. The sequence is everything in a game like this.
So France kicks off, early minutes, the usual stuff, throw in some free kicks.
Settling in period.
But then the sources flag an early chance for France, 12th minute. Theo Hernandez hits the crossbar.
Oof. So close for France early on. That feels like a big what-if moment now, doesn't it?
It really does, because despite France starting, having that near miss, Spain just grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck.
Right. Spain's first goal, Nico Williams, 23rd minute.
Yeah.
Assist from Oyarzabal.
And the source notes specifically call that the important first goal for Spain. Bang. Suddenly France's possession doesn't look so great.
And they didn't stop there, did they?
Not at all. Just 2 minutes later, 25th minute, Mikel Merino scores.
Oyarzabal with the assist again.
Yep, same provider. So, within 120 seconds, Spain turns what looked like maybe limited chances into a 2-0 lead.
That is just clinical, ruthless efficiency.
Then things calm down a bit on the scoring front. We see a yellow card for Spain's Lamine Yamal, 33rd minute, for a foul.
Okay.
And the half ends Spain 2, France 0. And the match commentary in the sources says, quote, Spain has been the better team in this half.
Which backs up what we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
Spain's efficiency completely trumped France's volume in that first 45.
Totally. But the second half, oh boy.
Absolute madness, you
Yeah.
said.
Just after the restart, 51st minute, quick yellow for France's Rabiot. Fouled Yamal.
And that foul was
Yeah.
costly inside the box.
Bingo. Inside the box. Penalty to Spain.
Okay. Big moment early in the half.
Yeah.
VAR check.
Yep, VAR looked at it, 52nd minute, confirmed the penalty, no arguments there.
So Spain gets a chance to make it 3-0.
And Lamine Yamal steps up, 54th minute, slots it home, 3-0 Spain. Source says the keeper went the wrong way.
Clinical again. But wait, Spain wasn't done piling on, you mentioned.
Can you believe it? No, just 1 minute later, 55th minute, Pedri scores. Nico Williams with the assist this time.
A fourth goal.
Already?
Already. And the source note says Pedri managed to score from an easy position.
Wow. So what, 10 minutes into the second half, Spain go from 2-0 up to 4-0?
That's right. 10 minutes, 2 goals, 1 a penalty, just boom, boom. It looked completely over. Spain running riot.
4-0 down.
Yeah.
You'd think France would just collapse at that point.
You really would. Spain looked utterly dominant on that scoreboard. Merciless finishing.
Yeah. The drama wasn't finished, was it? France responded.
Almost instantly. That's what's so wild. 58th minute, so just 3 minutes after Spain's fourth.
What happened?
Pedro Porro fouls Mbappe, pulled his shirt in the box. Penalty to France this time.
Goodness me. Another penalty. The ref was busy.
Tell me about it. So Mbappe steps up for France, 59th minute,
And scores.
and scores. Sends the keeper the wrong way again, just like the Yamal penalty. So Spain 4, France 1. A lifeline, maybe?
A glimmer of hope, perhaps?
Yep.
Still a mountain to climb, but better than 4-0. Then substitutions.
Yeah, flurry of them around 63, 64 minutes, both sides trying to react to that crazy spell, you imagine? Makes sense. Managers trying to regain control or push on.
But Spain still had one more goal left in them.
Even at 4-1, they scored again.
Yep. 67th minute, Lamine Yamal gets his second goal of the game. Pedro Porro setting him up this time. Spain 5, France 1.
5-1. Okay, now surely the game is done and dusted. You just don't come back from 5-1.
You really, really don't. The scoreline screamed, game over.
And more subs followed that.
Yeah, between about 72 and 77 minutes, more changes. And the sources point out some moments France could have scored earlier in this period, too.
Oh, really? Missed chances.
Dembele apparently hit the post in the 73rd minute, and someone named Agehawa had a sitter saved in the 86th.
Okay. So France was still creating things, even at 5-1 down. They hadn't just given up.
Exactly, but
Okay.
then, against all odds, with the score 5-1 and not much time left, France suddenly mounted this unbelievable late charge.
This is where it gets really crazy, right?
Completely. 79th minute, Ryan Cherki scores for France, and it was apparently a great strike from outside the box. Mbappe got the assist.
Okay, 5-2. Still a long shot, but makes it slightly more interesting.
But they weren't done. 5 minutes later, 84th minute, France get another one.
How? Another goal.
An own goal. Daniel Vivian for Spain. The source notes say he just intercepted a cross right before putting it in his own net.
Oh, wow. An own goal. So suddenly it's 5-3.
Suddenly 5-3. And you know what's funny? The sources mentioned spectators were doing the Mexican wave just a minute before that at 83 minutes.
Huh. They thought it was over too, just like everyone else watching probably.
Exactly. They're doing the wave at 5-2 thinking it's cruise control, and bam, it's 5-3. Incredible.
The tension must have rocketed up then. Any more drama? Cards. Added time.
Oh, yeah. Late yellow cards started flying. Some for dissent. France's Koulibaly and Kone got booked deep in added time. Spain's Gavi too.
Tempers flaring a bit.
Looks like it. And the fourth official showed 5 minutes of added time at the 90+1 mark.
5 minutes for France to find 2 goals. Still seemed unlikely.
But they got another one. In that added time, 90+3 minutes.
You're kidding me. Who scored?
Randall Koulibaly headed it in. Ryan Cherki, who scored the second, got the assist with a cross. The source highlights it was a successful cross.
So, 5-4. It actually became 5-4.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Spain 5, France 4. And the final whistle finally blew at 90+7 minutes. France ran out of time just inches from a historic comeback.
Wow. Just processing that. Okay. So this brings us right back to that central question, doesn't it?
It really does.
How do those initial stats we talk about France with more possession, way more attacks, better passing, how does that square with Spain absolutely racing out to a 4-0 then 5-1 lead before France nearly pulled it back?
It really does hammer home that difference between like volume and efficiency, doesn't it? Especially early on.
Absolutely. Spain was just unbelievably clinical. You said 5 goals from only 15 total shots.
Yeah, and 8 of those 15 were on target. So basically 2/3 of their shots on target win it. That's ruthless.
Oh, France. 26 attempts, which is a lot.
But only 4 goals scored by them, plus the own goal. And the sources noted 10 of their shots were off target completely. That's wasteful compared to Spain.
And Spain's defensive side seems key too. Recovering the ball slightly more often,
Yeah,
maybe in crucial areas.
could be. It suggests maybe Spain was good at, disrupting France just as they got near the goal, despite all France's passing, and then launching those quick, deadly counters we saw for the first couple of goals.
And the save stat feels huge now. Spain's keeper making 6 saves to France's 3. That tells us France was getting shots on target, testing the keeper, but Spain's goalie just stood much taller for most of the game.
Definitely kept that lead solid for a long time. And we can't ignore the big moments, right? The penalties and the own goal.
No, absolutely not. 3 of the 9 goals came from a penalty or an own goal. Those are game-changing incidents, triggered by specific fouls or mistakes, not just the general run of play. They shaped the scoreline massively for both teams.
For sure.
And then France's crazy late surge. Those 3 goals in the last 15 minutes or so, including stoppage time, that feels like where their sheer volume of attacking finally broke through.
Yeah, maybe Spain dropped off, got tired, maybe the Suggs worked for France, but they just kept coming, didn't they?
They did. They kept pushing, maybe driven by those underlying attacking numbers, and eventually found ways that shot from distance, the header from across, plus benefiting from the own goal, it nearly paid off.
What a game. Seriously, that 5-4 score is just the headline, but digging into the timeline, comparing it with the stats, that tells the real story.
It really does.
Spain, just incredibly efficient early on, clinical finishing, solid goalkeeping for most of it.
While France, with all their possession and shots, just kept hammering away and eventually staged that unbelievable frantic but ultimately just short comeback, helped by penalties and that OG.
Exactly. You see the how and why behind the numbers. Spain's efficiency built the lead. France's persistence fueled the comeback. The stats and the timeline together give you that much richer picture. It's way more than just 5-4. Well, thanks for sending over all those sources. That was genuinely fascinating to pick apart. What a match to dive into.
You're very welcome. It really was something else. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, just based on everything we've looked at from your sources today.
Noah.
Just consider how incredibly fast momentum can swing in football. 1 minute a team looks totally home and dry, 4-0 or 5-1 up. They've been clinical, the keeper's making saves.
Yeah, looks completely comfortable.
And the next, they're suddenly scrambling, clinging on for dear life at 5-4 because of this rapid-fire series of events, a penalty, an own goal, a long shot, a header, all happening late on.
It turned on a dime.
It really did. So, drawing just on the specific plays and stats we discussed from this game, what does that sudden dramatic shift happening despite that earlier dominance tell you about the sheer unpredictability of the sport, about the power of individual moments to completely rewrite the narrative? Something to think about.